What's going on? Wise One Awakening podcast. We here. Let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. To my young dudes, you in your 20s, trying to figure it out. This message, this video is for you, so you won't make the mistake I made when I was in my 20s. And I'm just giving you a heads up, man. Because I've been in your shoes. I'm in my 20s. And here's 4 things that you need to avoid in your 20s that you absolutely must avoid. You do not need to do. You need to listen to me very well, gentlemen. You're in your 20s, you don't want to make mistakes. So this video is about 4 mistakes you need to avoid in your 20s if you want to have a successful life. If you want to have a good life, a good, decent life. 4 things you need to avoid. 4 mistakes, right? Listen, it's not mean and be all. It doesn't mean that, like, if I make this mistake, life is over for me. It doesn't mean that, but the chances are very, low for you to have a really good, successful life if you make these mistakes. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world, because they're all guys that have done that, and, it actually motivated them to do more. It really catapult them to the next level. But that is not for all of us. That is not for you. That doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do it. It is what it is. So let's go ahead and start with mistake number 1 you need to avoid in your 20s, and that is, sir, getting arrested, going to jail. That is the number 1 thing you need to avoid in your 20s. Best believe I've been in that situation. I've got arrested before. Never wanted to serve no time for it, but it happens. We all young. We all do dumb shit, which I have, and I got arrested. It happens. It's, most of the 20s we do dumb shit. You get caught up in the wrong side of the law. You want to avoid that mistake. You don't want to go through that, because you're going to have to go ahead and bail yourself out. You have to deal with the shame, your parents, you have to put in that job application, which I think now they're a little bit more lenient to it when it comes to jobs. That, it's not as it looked at before in the past, but that's one thing you need to avoid, going to jail, or, just getting the wrong side of the law, man, because you're just going to ruin it for yourself, just to get a particular job. It depends on where you're going to, what sector of career, where you're gonna go. So that really will follow you the rest of your life, because they'll do different background checks. There are certain background checks that, if you got your record expunged or something like that, they're not gonna be able to see it. So, but there are some government job that you're gonna get, or they doing level 2 background, they're gonna be able to see it. So you want to go ahead and avoid making that mistake of not going to jail, not getting arrested. Stay away from any criminal activity in your 20s. So let's get to number 2, right? Number 2, debt. Avoid debt in your 20s as much as you can. Because a lot of young folks, a lot of us, we get into our 20s, man. And guess what? We going to college, we get student loan. That's the biggest killer, man. Right there, I'm telling you, man, getting into debt, going into student loan. Oh, man, I am telling you, that thing's going to follow you for most of your life. And if you got a shitty college degree, you're gonna get out there, it's gonna be hard to pay off, man. You're not gonna want to pay it off, because you're like, man, I ain't paying this off. I'm waiting for the government to forgive the loan. You're gonna be, listen, just do your best to avoid it. If you go to like a home college in your in your town, to save money, do 2 years there, and 2 years at university, just trying to get as much grant as possible, or pay out your pocket. And if you're gonna get a loan, keep it to a minimum, man. Keep it to a point where it's something that you can easily pay off. Just keep it below at least $20,000. Keep it below as much as you can, because you should be able to pay $20,000 off. Once you get into your career, you start making money. So I would say avoid getting into debt as much as you can. If you are, keep it to a minimum, man. Keep it to something you can, you can see yourself affording. Don't get $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in debt coming out of college. You're 21-year-old. You shouldn't be having that much debt at 21. It doesn't make sense, man, for you to be in that much debt. While you're young like that. It just doesn't make sense. So stay out of debt, right? Stay out of jail and stay out of debt. My next one is addiction. Yes, we all deal with a young age. We like to party. We like to have fun. We like to have a good time. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with, you doing a little puff. Ain't nothing wrong getting a little drink and enjoying yourself. but it needs to be managed. You know, it needs to be something you do here and there. You don't go wild, don't go crazy. And I'll let you know I went wild, I went crazy, but I ain't go that wild or crazy. You know, I just load the puff, I do a little drink, but I ain't never went anything, you know, beyond craziness on that here. You know what I'm saying? So you want to keep it, you know what I'm saying? That's it. You don't want to be out there popping bottles, drinking every damn week, you know, just wasting your life away. Guess what? It'll affect your health. You know, guess what? You drinking and, you know, you're going to get in your car. Guess what? You'll get arrested, or you get in a horrible accident or injure somebody and you get arrested, you know. So, and then it costs money, man. It costs money. It gets you more into debt. Doing, drinking and smoking, that's more money you spending, you know. You can't pay that debt off. You know, you can't get ahead in life. You can't get that nice car that you want. You can't get your apartment because, you know, you're spending your money on these things. So you want to go ahead and avoid getting an addiction, you know, while you in your 20s. Avoid it. I'm not saying go in your 30s or you could get addiction. I'm just saying just avoid that. You know, like don't do hard drugs. Don't do anything that's going to make, you know, just ruin your life, man. You know, just ruin your health. Just stay away as much. You know, I know you want to, you know, it makes you feel great. Don't get me wrong. I know, man, I drink. You know, I used to smoke, so I know the feeling, man. I understand the feeling, you know, of being in your zone, being vibing, man. But, you know, at the end of the day, you don't want to be out here, you know, like getting addicted to, you know, to drugs and alcohol. And you can't live a good life, man. So avoid that. You know, avoid that as much as you can. So last and but not least, do not, gentlemen, I repeat, do not get a woman pregnant in your 20s. Avoid that as much as you can because, my sir, this will slow you down, especially if you get the wrong woman pregnant. It can destroy your life for 18 to whatever how many years. It can destroy you. You probably can get out of the addiction, out of the debt. There's a lot of things you probably can, but man, getting the wrong chick pregnant in your 20s, man, it will slow you down, man. I'm just telling you, man, don't do it. You know, child support, you ain't pay child support, you going to jail, just the mental health and all that, dealing with the whole situation, you know, raising a child and you're not with the right person. And then if you are with the right person, man, I don't recommend it, getting, you know, having a child in your 20s if you're not stable, you're not in the right place. I'm talking like, you know, if really realistically that maybe like in your early 20s, your late 20s. I mean, if you're that type of guy, you got a good job, you know, you want to get married and, you know, like you're doing that path. I'm not talking to you guys like you. You know, if you're a church guy and, you know, that's like what your family do, 21, you get a wife and you get married, you know, you have your, hey, that's what you want to do. I'm just advising, like, you know, keep that until your 30s, man. Make sure you get yourself right, you get yourself situated, then your mid-30s to your 40s, and you can go ahead and settle down and get a wife and have a kid and all that, because you already know what you're doing in life, man. Money's good, you know, you got a crib, you're able to have a structure in your life, you're able to create this, what I would say, a space, an empire to raise a family. You don't want to be in your 20s, you broke or you barely make ends meet, and you're getting a woman pregnant. Now you got to support a kid and you got to support that woman, you know, and you will have to support her. And she's going to go through a whole lot of different emotions, a lot of different things she's going to go through. And you're going to have to go ahead and do all that. Why are you trying to get your career off? Why are you trying to, you know, just get some money? Why are you understanding who you are as a man? You don't want to go through that. You want to make sure that you are a free man to focus on you and what you want to do in life. So you want to avoid that. Now, ladies, if you're watching this video, this is for you too also, that you just do it in reverse. It might be a little bit different. Your timeline is different than men. You know, you don't want to be in your 20s getting pregnant for the wrong dude. You want to be married. You want to make sure he has everything situated. You know, he has a crib. You want to make sure he has certain things in place. Don't get in debt, ladies. The same thing. Do not get in debt in your 20s. It's that simple. You know, don't get arrested. Don't end up in jail. You know, don't get addicted to drugs and alcohol. It's that simple. You know, because in your 20s, it's such a pitiful time. It's really where, you know, you're allowed to make some mistakes. But those 4 mistakes, you need to avoid them. There are mistakes you're allowed to make. I'm not saying you can't drink, you can't smoke. I'm not saying you can't borrow money. I'm not saying that, you cannot marry and have a child. But I'm saying, like, what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to do it smart. You need to be smart about how you move. And I would recommend in your 20s, you not do these things. Now if you want to go ahead and do it, be you. But I would say follow my advice and do that as much as you can to avoid getting these type of situations that will ruin you. Cause when it comes to debt, you get in credit card debt, and they charge you 20%, 23% interest, 25% interest rate. You don't understand money, and you on every month your debts keep going up and up and up and up and up. You don't want to do that, man. You don't want to live that life. You want to live a life of abundance, So you want to save your money. You want to put your money to the side. You want to make your money do interest for you. You don't want to pay, you want somebody to pay you interest to borrow your money, not the other way around. Borrow money for them. You don't want, so you want to do it for that as much as you can. You understand, gentlemen? I am telling you. You avoid 40s mistakes in your 20s, man, and your life will be much better off, man, because you got the time to focus on you. You don't want to be a slave debt. You don't want to be a baby daddy. You don't want to be a junkie. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be no damn criminal. So avoid those 4 mistakes. You understand what I'm saying? 4 mistakes. Hey, like, share, subscribe. Wise One Awaken Podcast. We here. Let's talk about it, baby. Let's go.